Start. So yesterday's class, we just understood about like our Pega basic introduction. So that is like how Pega development studio will be looking like and what will be its header part, footer part. So this is what overall we have seen. And how are we getting this login page? So day one in your project, you have to ask for the development URL. And then you have to ask them for creating operator ID and password. So, there will be 4 roles for operators and your manager will create operator ID for you, maybe as author role or maybe as admin role or maybe manager role according to that. So during authentication, if this is my Pega login page, during authentication, system has to execute one SQL query with PR underscore operators table of Pega database. That is our database. And there under PY user identifier, it will cross check whether this ABC is one valid operator ID or not. And depending upon which, it might throw server validation messages or it might take us to the next screen, maybe development studio. So this is what happening in our real-time project or in our established project. So if this is something like brand new project or scratch project, even for the first person to log in, it is asking for some ID and password, right? As we understood, Pega is providing one master ID and password that is like administrator@pega.com. So that is like one operator ID available in our table ready-made. So if this is our PR operators table, no doubt administrator related one operator must be there. So with that only I'm trying to log in. So if this is available here, as I told you, if something is already available, you should call it as OOTB, meaning out of the box. You can say administrator@pega.com. So this is one OOTB operator ID. Okay, and this operator ID is of what role? Come on, tell me. This is defined as what role? Is it author or admin or what?
Author.
Author.
It is of author role. So author meaning he should get development studio. For what application? What is the application name you have seen yesterday?
Pega.
Pega platform.
Pega
Pega platform.
platform. So did we create this application? No. So this is also OOTB, right? So likewise, there will be some thousand of OOTB things. We are trying to make use of it. Okay, so if I log in with that, administrator pega.com, and it is taking me to one OOTB application, which is with the name Pega platform. And this application name you are seeing from Infinity version, that is 8.0. Okay, as I told you, Pega versions are something like maybe 7 series, 6 series, 5 series, and then 8 series. After 8 series, they launched something like 23 series and then 24 series. From 8.x, they are calling it as Pega Infinity. Okay, Pega Infinity meaning from 8.x. But today, interviewers are thinking like Pega Infinity meaning from 23 or 24 version. In interviewers, if interviewer is asking you, do you have experience in Infinity? They are thinking about this thing. But Pega is claiming it as Infinity themselves from 8th version itself. And all the past versions we call it as non-Infinity version. If I log in any non-Infinity version, so there you will not see Pega platform. You'll see with something different application name. What is it?
Pega rules.
It is as Pega rules. And the latest one, you're seeing it as Pega platform. Okay. So what is this Pega rules? What is this Pega platform? Now here, what is the purpose of I logged in here? So consider today is our day one. We are actually starting our original project. Okay, consider we are like city client. We wanted to start a project and I wanted to create one framework. So I have to follow this navigation. Okay, if I just click on this, I'll get a window. First, let me explain you. I'll get a window. There it will ask me what is the application name. I'll define it as banking application, whatever, something meaningful name. And then it will ask me what should be its type. I have to choose either framework as its type or implementation. Okay, so creating an application is like just 2 steps away, right? So I have to choose this. And then step number 1 is like application name. And step number 2 is like application type. That's it. One application will be created for me. So if it is creating an application, so no doubt background n number of dependency things will be created. One database table will be created and its connections, JDBC connections, operator IDs, access roles, hundreds of things will be created by just you following two-step action. Am I correct? So consider if you are having one credit card application, maybe loans application, accounts application. Creating this application is pretty simple. And if a bank employee using this credit card application, if he is registering hundreds of customers, all the data must be stored into its connected database table. Okay, all the loan related registration should be maintained into its database table, meaning every application will have a table. So did we struggle anything in creating a table? No, right? By just following this two step, hundreds of things will be created in the background. So all these things are successfully created by getting help from this OOTP application. Am I correct? So meaning this Pega platform is having some predefined things or OOTB Java code, whatever it might be. So creating a new application, if it is created successfully, meaning it is taking help from our Pega platform, right? So what I'm trying to say here is in the latest versions, every application you create, meaning I'm creating one framework. This is generated from Pega platform. And I'll create F2. No doubt this is generated from F1, which is nothing but indirectly from Pega platform only, no? So F3 is generated from F1. So every applications below are generated from Pega platform only. Now, if we just compare with our non-infinity versions, you know the main application name is like Pega rules there. So if I have something like framework one created, no doubt it must be derived from Pega rules only, no? And F2 indirectly derived from Pega rules only, no? F4, F5. So consider our project started somewhere 10 years back. By that time, 7.3 might be the latest one. And we created n number of applications by deriving from Pega rules. So today 2025. So our management today is in a plan to upgrade to the latest version. So for that, first they have to install this latest version. Whenever they install, they'll see Pega platform as one OOTP application. Okay, so whatever the hard work they have done from past 10 years, it must be 100% first exported, migrated or upgraded, whatever. So this F1 to be successfully moved here and F2 to be successfully moved. So you know F1 is derived from Pega rules. So can an F1 be managed without its parent application? Just guess and tell me. No, right? So here F2 is completely derived from F1, right? So if I switch F2 alone here, will this F2 work without F1? No. Likewise, F1 will not work without its parent. So here this Pega rules application is not there. How can you expect the remaining project worked out here? It's not possible, right? So here, if any project started in 8th version, no problem. If something in old version, if it is upgraded by the time the major one is not available, how can we expect upgradation? It's like problem for the existing clients, right? So how Pega is doing like this? Why Pega is doing like this? This is what you have to do. So for that, I'll ask you with one small example. Consider you are working in TCS and Ravi is your project manager. Okay. And he has got four team members. Maybe Rahul as one team member, Raju as one another team member. And under Raju, maybe Sandhya or something like Sita. Sita has one female candidate. She's like team member, he's like team lead, he's like manager. So Sita as one female candidate got married today and she is requesting for her surname updation. So in our TCS database, so her name may be something like updated, completely updated. If her name is updated, so does she be not an employee under TCS? She will be still part of TCS only, no? She'll be still part of Raju only, no? She'll still part of Ravi only, no? So what is happening? Even if her name is updated, why this structure is not disturbed? Because background structure will be purely running on ID based. Getting my point? So here, see the employee ID will be something like 1234, which will never be changed. So even her name or mobile number, whatever the data might be changing, her employee ID will never change. And background processing, everything will be running on what? Employee IDs only. So that is where you have to correlate the same with Pega also. So in Pega, each and everything. Okay, let me tell you one common point. In Pega, everything is to be called as a rule. Okay, whatever you see, everything is to be called as a rule. So if I ask you to create an operator ID, that's a rule. So if it is an image, that's a rule. If it is an application, it's a rule. And if it is like something like first name text box, it's a rule. In Pega, everything is to be called as a rule. Okay, now everything is to be called as a rule. So your developers, they'll straight away say like create one activity rule. Okay, so create one credit card applicational rule. So there is one OOTB rule with the name send email notification. So that is where they'll say each and everything is to be 100% called as a rule in Pega. So every rule will be processed with its ID. Every rule will be processed with its ID. So now you are seeing something like Pega platform as one application, right? So if I click on this and if I just check for definition, what I'll get some information about that. Ante kada. What do you mean by definition? Some information about that. So if I click on this one, so you can see this Pega platform as a rule opened up and it is having some ID with the name Pega rules and its name is Pega platform. Based on this, you can correlate it is having still with the older ID only. ID can never be changed. If you log in into the past versions, okay, if you log in into the past versions, okay, if you log in into the past versions, there used to see application name as what? Pega rules, right? What might be its ID? No doubt Pega rules only. And in the latest version, they just updated its display name. That's it. But its ID is still same. If you log in into Pega after 10 years, consider Pega has listed 10 more versions. Still, they should see this Pega rule still maintained. Here they can update with something like Pega Super Platform. Even I can do it today itself. You can see this, right? So I can update this name however I wanted, but its backend IDs will never, should not be changed. So every time in Pega, everything is called as a rule and all the rules are having some IDs and even it will be having some names also, which both may or may not be same. So consider yesterday's example, that is send email notification. You can see this, right? And here you can see its ID as send email notification and its name as the same. So I can modify for credit card customers. I can modify however I want it. So its name can be modified, but ID should not be. Every rule will be having both. Okay, fine. So you got some clarity that from non-infinity to even infinity. That is from 7.x to 8.x. Even if you plan to upgrade your project, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen because just application name alone is modified. Backend ID is same. So following right every one of you online?
Yeah, Chandra, one doubt. I remember in some of the Pega application, instead of a direct upgrade, they went with an rewrite of the application. So it's not because of Pega changes, it's because of the integration or some other application they would have went with the rewrite.
It can be possible. So we call it as optimization. It's not actually migration. We call it as optimization. So if I have a Pega project ready, but not with proper design, you may have to completely optimize, making modification of each and every rule manual. Okay. And if it
Okay.
is about from past version to the latest version, we call it as an upgradation or migration. Both are different. Got my point, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So maybe during time of 2020 or 2019. Okay, so in this particular period, Pega has put lot of restriction on its clients, City client, Bank of America client, whatever. So whoever is using non-infinity versions, they are supposed to upgrade. Okay, they made it mandatory. They are supposed to be upgraded to 8th version. Okay, and after upgrading, they are supposed to go for optimization also. So consider my project is still in 7th version. So this Pega is completely for our internal employees only now. That is what day one week finalist. Okay, so meaning we will be working here not with major styles. There will not be proper styles. And all the developers before 2019 or maybe till 2018, all the developers worked here just for the sake of output. So maybe if I give you a requirement, you will bother about getting output for that. You will not think whether you follow best practice or not. So considering this small example. So activities, you'll be having everything in terms of step-by-step approach, right? So there should not be more than 28 steps. Okay, I'm just giving you with one small example. So in 7th version, if you are a developer here, if you are supposed to create your own activity, and you should not anytime use more than 28 steps, but no one followed this structure. All the developers here worked just for the sake of output. Okay, so there are like even activities with 45 steps also in the past versions. So this is where application is running very slow. So Pega has come up with an approach saying like from 8th version, there is something called compliance score detection. So this compliance score is not there in the past versions. So in 8th version, there are n number of extra features, and all the clients who are still using 7th version, it is made mandatory to migrate themselves to 8th version. So what they have done, all the rules, whatever they have created, they simply updated to 8th version. That is part of migration. Now, after it is migrated, maybe the activity ABC, which is with 45 steps, it will be blindly reflecting here. But it is not to be with 45 steps, right? So here they are trying to modify everything. So they are trying to change this with to less than 28 steps, which what we call it as optimization. So this migration plus optimization combinedly they have done somewhere between 2019 to 21 phase. That is where if you remember, maybe if you or maybe of your friends who has like suggested you for Pega, so they might have told you in this particular phase there are n number of Pega opportunities, huge Pega opportunities. So most of you thought these opportunities are because of COVID. Okay, because of COVID, what is this COVID coming into picture? So in this particular phase, you know, COVID, right? So other sectors other than software field, maybe people working in pharma field, okay, people working in maybe non-IT sector, so their jobs are little affected. So every one of them planned to come to IT sector. Okay, so that is where Pega came into Pega made more famous. Pega is like more famous during that phase because of this non-IT employees coming here. So they used to think about what is the best software job for non-IT employees. What is the tool where there is no coding? So combining this kind of COVID effect as well as this migration effect, Pega opportunities almost like went to peak. Almost went to peak. So after 2 or 3 years, again this completely came down because migration is are like done, all the migration optimizations are completed. Now only enhancement projects are running out. Second thing, recession effect. Okay, so today opportunities are little less because of these two things got down. And in this phase, Pega has got huge opportunities, not only in IT sector. Not everything. Pega has got huge because of these two things, that is migration and upgradation. So now got it right? Makes sense, everyone? Understood, everyone? Following right?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So now finally what I mean to say here is, in Pega, everything is to be called as a rule, and every rule will be having its some ID. Consider I'm a bank employee. Consider with a small example. I'm a bank employee. I'll be logging in. I'll get one credit card application. I don't know anything about Pega or .NET, whatever. I'm just accessing one credit card application. So with this application, what I'll try to do? I'll try to register my customers, right? One customer will come to me and asking for some credit card registration. So I'll try to click on a button called click here to register. On click of this, what will happen? I'll get some screen asking for first name, last name, age, and other details. So I'll collect all the details, click on submit. Next, it might show me screen number 2 collecting his address details. Next screen number 3 might be his educational details. Next screen number 4 might be his employment details. Likewise, there might be 10 screens. After all the screens are completed, so no doubt in our database table, one record will be inserted, which is considered as successful completion. Am I correct? So a customer coming to me, I'm using this application following n number of steps to get one transaction completed. Similarly, second customer will come, I'll do the similar steps and transaction will be done. So here this application is more about generating one successful transaction. Am I correct? So this is more about generating one successful transaction. For this successful transaction, we are loading screen number 1, meaning Pega is loading screen number 1, and maybe it's respect to images if required, it's respect to first name fields, n number of things. And screen number 2 and n number of things. Screen number 3 and number of things. As I told you, everything is to be called as a rule, right? Screen number 1 is to be called as a rule. Section rule is what we call. And this image is a rule. First name is a rule. Maybe if there is a video playing out, it's a rule. So it is trying to execute n number of rules to get one transaction successfully created. Am I correct? Just for successful registration, it is executing hundreds of rules everywhere. So this background Pega has got one engine where it is to process all the rules for successful transaction. That is where we are calling this as Pega rules process commander. Whatever the engine you are having in the Pega, so it is trying to run all the rules to get successful output. So we are calling this as PRPC as one tool. Okay, Pega rules process commander, we are calling it as PRPC. So whatever the Pega tool you are seeing, you have to call it as PRPC. Now, from today, every one of you should call this as PRPC. No one should call it as Pega tool. No one should call this as Pega tool. Whatever you are saying, this is not Pega tool. This is PRPC tool. So Pega is one company name. Suppose today, if you purchase a laptop in Chroma. So if I ask you, where did you buy? What you have to say? You have to say it as Chroma, right? You should not say it as Tata. You know, Chroma is part of Tata. So Tata is one biggest organization, out of which one small unit is Chroma. Similarly, Pega is one biggest organization where it has got different things. PRPC is one small tool out of that. So we are learning PRPC, which is one BPM tool. Okay, so Pega is more famous with this PRPC. So people with less knowledge, they'll call this as Pega tool, which is not correct. We have to call it as PRPC tool. Maybe today, maybe in Naukris or somewhere, if you are seeing Pega PRPC jobs, you can happily apply for this, right? So if you are seeing Pega BPM jobs, no doubt PRPC, which is under BPM sector. So no doubt you can happily apply. If you are seeing something as Pega RPA, you are not supposed to apply, which is not ours. Okay. And if you are seeing something about like Pega jobs, what do you mean by Pega jobs? What do you mean by Pega jobs? So whoever is posting this job notification, maybe a recruiter. Okay, if I'm a small HR or a recruiter, I'll take care of this, right? Meaning, whoever is posting with this name, you should think that they are not having proper Pega knowledge. So their thinking is about Pega PRPC only. So they have to clearly specify it as Pega PRPC, but they're giving it as Pega jobs. No doubt Pega is famous into PRPC. You can happily apply for that. You can just cross check for its job description. If they're saying anything as like 2 years of BPM experience, happily you can apply. So finally, from today, every one of us should call this as PRPC tool because everything is processing based on rule based. Okay. And if that rule is what already created, we call it as OOTB rule. And if it is what you are creating, it is called as user created rule. That's it. Okay. So here under PRPC, you are seeing one OOTB application, Pega platform, which is OOTB and which is having some ideas Pega rules. Got it right, everyone? Following right?
Yes, Chandra.
Okay. Now, if I log in into latest application, you'll see Pega platform. And here you'll see F1. Framework 1 is what you'll create. You know, this is derived from Pega platform only. And F2 is what you'll create. F3 is what you'll create. And below implementation 1, implementation 2. So here F2 is one framework, right? If I ask you what is framework? Framework is something which is maintaining all the reusable rules and supplying to its childs. Am I correct? Okay, this is what framework definition is. Now I can see F1 as one application. And this is also one application which is OOTP. So this F1 is created by having some rules derived from its above parent. Am I correct? So in this scenario, should I not call this as one framework? Yes, right? So Pega platform is considered as one OOTB framework application. So this is one OOTB framework where everything is maintained in terms of Java code there. So every application, whatever you create, it is blindly reusing it. So this is considered as one OOTB framework. And on top of it, if we are supposed to go with extra frameworks, if you wanted to purchase any new frameworks, you can connect it somewhere here. No doubt the main Java platform should be there. And on top of it, PRPC has created certain frameworks you can purchase and include it here, or you can create your own frameworks and link it. So this is what. So finally, we can call this Pega platform as one OOTB framework. In the past versions, Pega rules is considered as such OOTP framework application. Okay, so with this knowledge, we can start creating our new applications. Okay, from here, our actual practical work will start. Okay, our actual practicals will start. So now we'll start understanding how to create a new framework application. And then we'll understand how to create new implementation applications. Okay. So as we discussed earlier, we'll work on 3 projects and additionally set of assignments, total 4 as a number. So we'll take care of banking related project in our course. Okay. And you are already shared with real-time projects, which is showing like insurance and which is something like healthcare. Did you look into that? So did you see that there are like 2 projects already shared for you? Yes, right?
Yes, Chandra.
Yes, right? Yes. And for this particular project, these 2 projects is what you have to take care. So there will be like 1 hour video each. Okay. And there will be a document also for this and a document. And these 2 projects, I cannot provide you solutions for everything. So this project is completely what I'm taking care. Here I'll show you how to create framework application, how to create implementation application, how to create operator IDs, how to do each and everything from 0 to high level. Okay, so this set of requirements will not match with second set and this will not match with third set, but concepts are same. Okay, so if whatever the practical things we are doing on day 1 today, here you are supposed to replicate the same here as well as here. That is what the expectation is. So once in 2 weeks, we'll check for these two project reviews. So to what extent you have done? Did you follow best practices or not? One-to-one project reviews will be there. So by end of our course, make sure all these three things, anyway, this will be completed and all the remaining two things or three things also should be perfectly done. So that is what our agenda is. Now we'll start with our banking project. So here, let's create one framework application and let's
So Chandra, one question here. So this insurance and healthcare, the documentation which you are saying, we have to follow those documentation and then we have to
Right,
start creating the
right,
project,
right.
right?
So first, what's your action is, first you have to watch this 1 hour video. Just try to understand. Okay, so don't overthink about Pega related stuff today. Just try to watch this 1 hour video. There you'll come to know how the portals should be. Okay, how our credit card application should be, and what should be screen number one. What are all its requirements? Screen number two. Okay, how it's designed. What are all its requirements in terms of backend functionalities? Maybe like integrating with third party. Everything is like clearly explained. First, you have to watch this video. Okay, and then there will be like maybe 30-40 page related document also. So all these requirements are maintained as some Zira IDs and those are like maintained here. So first you should understand this project in terms of functionality. Don't think about how to implement with Pega. So first you have to understand in terms of functionality. And today, if I show you something about like working on screen number one, here it's a screen number one is also what you can replicate. Here it's a screen number one is also what you have to replicate. So this is not expected mostly in the next month. So in the next 4 to 5 months, we are supposed to complete these two things. Got it right? In this video, you'll be having completely about like requirement based on the solution will not be there. So after you understanding this project, parallel you'll understand solutions also here. Makes sense, right, Saurabh? Got it right?
Yes.
Fine. So now let's start with our banking project. Okay, so tell me any organizations under bank. So I have some famous bank related projects already done. So HDFC is there, Axis is there. I think SCB is not there. We'll try to go for SCB Bank, Standard Chartered Bank. Okay, a very famous bank related to Pega project. Okay, so very tough Pega project it is like. So SCB, we are having like a major ODC in Chennai. I think we're having SCB branch in Bangalore, Pune, and other projects, other locations also. But this is mostly running based on Chennai based. Okay, very big Pega project it is. Okay, even Bank of America, everything. So we'll start with something like SCB as one project organization name. And for this, we'll create one framework and then we'll create one implementation. Okay, let's start working on. So for every practical requirement, you will be detailing given with some documents also. Okay, I think you got all the documents still here. Let's start creating an application. So here, first we'll discuss about the requirement. Whatever the documents we provide, so their requirement is also clearly mentioned and solution is what we'll prepare now. So your requirement is creating a new framework application and our organization name is SCB. And our framework name is like SCB Bank Framework. And our application is about like loans. Okay, and inside bank, we have to go for loans application design. So for that, first we have to log in with our master credentials, right? So let's log in with this operator ID and password. Okay, so let's parallel work on. So we already logged in. Or let me take that screenshot also. This being for first time. So this is our operator ID and this is our roles. I'll take the screenshot, click on login. So it has to take me to Pega portal screen into development studio. And to create a new application, this is the navigation is what we are thinking of. Okay, so create new application using above navigation. Okay, fine. So when you're planning to create an application, you'll get a screen asking for whether it is like built from scratch or something existing one. Maybe in your case, when you're practicing, you'll see only this first option. Okay, after you creating few other projects, you'll see remaining part also. Fine. So something like build from zero. So I have to choose this now. And in some other versions of Pega, you are seeing like build from scratch today, right? In some other versions, you'll see something like build classic, build some classic. And in the latest version also, you are seeing like build from scratch. In 24 version also, you'll see with something like build from scratch only. Okay, now I'm choosing build from scratch. After that, it is asking for some theme selection. You can see this, right? What type of experience you want in this application. So that is nothing but themes. So what do you mean by theme? What do you mean by theme? Some kind of look and feel only, no? Suppose um, you are in your mobile phone. If you are using IPL theme, okay, so background images will be changed, right? All the icons will be changed and its respect to design will be changed. And maybe if you are using something as Christmas theme, so you'll see background changing, something like snow falling down and something like red color caps and other stuff. Okay, so here theme is just about like look and feel, and its backend will be same as it is. Your WhatsApp messages will not be changed, right? Even if we change the theme, so it will be as it is. Now, what are the themes available today in latest version, and in the past versions? This you have to know. So for that, whenever Pega has introduced, maybe 20 years or 30 years back, they started with some default theme, which is with the name UI Kit. Okay, so you used to see with the theme name called UI Kit, which is available till 8.6 version. So somewhere we are around 8.7, right? After which 8.8, then 23, 24, this is what we are seeing. So till 8.6 version, from day one till here, you used to see something as UI Kit, which is fully outdated. Which is fully outdated. It is not at all looking colorful. Kind of abnormal related screen is what we used to see. And now what are the themes you are seeing? You are seeing about like theme Cosmos and Cosmos React, right? So from this 8.7, you are seeing something as theme Cosmos and Cosmos React. This is what you are seeing in the current version. And interviewers, they used to ask you something about like, do you have experience working in Cosmos theme? That is what they used to ask you. So this theme Cosmos introduced from 8.3 version. Okay, so from 8.3 you are seeing like theme Cosmos till 8.7 only. And Cosmos React. So you are seeing from 8.6 till 8.8 only. Getting my point? So theme Cosmos is still here only. And UI kit till here. Okay, UI kit till here. From 23 version onwards, all these are like deprecated. You are seeing only one theme called theme Constellation or Constellation UI. Constellation UI. So you people might be coming across Constellation word, right? So that is something about like how it's a front-end related design to be. It's a framework actually. You'll understand in detail about this coming classes. Okay, so this is about like Constellation UI and it is concentrated for developer. And this is concentrated for output portals, you'll understand. So some kind of front-end look and feel is like with Constellation, which is from latest version. Fine. So interviewers, they were asking about, do you have experience working in theme Cosmos? So maybe today, after you learning complete Pega, so you wanted to go for interviews. There you'll showcase yourself like 3 years or 4 years. And just for that sake of older fake experience, you will be showing projects that you have done in 7.4. You will not keep it like 8.7 projects, right? Okay, you might be showing like 2 or 3 projects there. There you'll say that one project where you worked on 7.4, one project where you worked on 8.1. Likewise, you'll try to project it. Okay, and if they're suddenly asking you, do you have experience working in theme Cosmos? You'll say it as yes, because that is what we are learning today. Okay, and that will be like Constellation, maybe in the coming classes, whatever. So if anyone is asking about theme Cosmos, if we say it as, so you should know this theme Cosmos from what version it is introduced. So your projects are completely saying like 7.4 and 8.1 something past, where only UI kit might be possible. How, where did you get experience working in theme Cosmos there? No, right? So whatever the projects you are showcasing yourself, you should know what themes are applicable. So they'll ask you only two things. Do you have experience working in theme Cosmos? Yes, you should know where exactly the project version related part is. And they'll be asking you, do you have experience working in Constellation? Yes. So you should know from which version it is like. And to be more clear, this Constellation is available in the past versions also, but that is with the name Cosmos React. Okay, so whatever you are seeing like Cosmos React in past three versions, this is nothing but Constellation only, but they gave it something different name. So here as well as here, there will be something like React coding related things to be done. So that is where, so they introduced something here with this name, which is not that super hit. And they added some OOTB options here and they updated with the name called Constellation UI. Whatever it is, today you should understand what are the themes available in version to version. So you will be seeing like theme Cosmos or Cosmos React. Now let us use Cosmos, theme Cosmos. Today, out of 100 projects, 90 projects are still running on Cosmos only. And 10% they are running on Constellation. And down the line after 5 years, this ratio will be completely turned reverse. Constellation has to be updated like 90% and this will be slowly upgraded. Okay, all theme Cosmos have to be upgraded to Constellation. Today we are having this ratio and down the line this might be the expected ratio. This is like more famously to be used, but no one in the industry. Okay, so even if your clients also are not aware of this constellation related structure completely. So that is where they're still sticking to the older design. So we are concentrating on theme Cosmos as well as Constellation UI in our course. And if we can practice all these things, it might be in the Infinity version, so-called Infinity version, or maybe in something like theme Cosmos related part also. Since we are somewhere here, or just to work with Constellation UI. So there will be something like Gen AI features added up. So this Gen AI is like separate server running at the client level. So that is where, because of this Gen AI, they could not able to release personal edition. Okay, so that is where till 8.7 itself, we got personal edition and we are trying to download this and do everything here. After we learning this, then we'll try to make this worked on cloud concept, which will be 45-day trial period. Okay, so now we'll start working on theme Cosmos. Let's select this theme. Click on select. Okay, so if you click on select, it will ask you what should be the application name. Okay, what should be the application name? So what is the application name we decided? SCB Bank Framework. So please observe that I'm giving something lengthy name. Okay, background, as I told you, everything is a rule, right? If I create an application, a rule must be generated. If I create an image, a rule must be generated. So in PRPC, everything is a rule. Now for every rule, there must be a name as well as ID, right? Now, whatever you are providing here, background name will be generated and its ID will be generated based on this. And ID will be having certain restrictions. It should not have spaces. It should not have length more than something fixed length likewise. So here I am defining some label. Okay, now don't directly click on create application. You should never click on create application directly. So you guys, after our class is done, you'll be practicing it, right? So in that phase, by mistake, there will be something like clicking on this button. You should never click on this. By mistake, you'll be doing it. So if you are doing this background, N number of things will be automatically created. Okay, so what is the necessity of clicking this link? First, we'll check this. Click on advanced configuration. Okay, click on advanced configuration. First, you have to click on this. So there you can see some settings, right? Configuration meaning kind of settings. This application settings by default, it is selected as what? Implementation. By default, this is chosen as implementation. Maybe by mistake, if I have clicked on this one, an application will be created with the type as implementation, right? Which type as implementation? Okay, so wrong type of application is getting created. And this is not just creating an application. One database table will be generated in the background with that wrong name. So maybe it's related classes will be generated with the wrong names. Access groups will be created. Maybe access roles will be created. Operator IDs, n number of things will be generated. Everything has its wrong type. So don't think that you can modify everything manually. So which cannot be manually done. So finally, if we have done something wrong in creating an application, which cannot be reverted, no doubt in it, you cannot modify it. You may have to create again from beginning. So you are supposed to again start from beginning, and in that process, you cannot give the same name again. So if I give something name like this, background one ID will be generated, right? If you are trying to give the same name, again ID will be duplicated, it will throw an error saying like this is already available. Instead of SCB, you might have to change this to something like Axis Bank or Bank of America according to that. So don't do that mistake. So you are supposed to follow everything strictly initially. So you have to click on advanced configuration. And here by default, you'll see type as implementation. You are supposed to change this to framework now. And here you can see application ID is something as SCB Bank EF. So from where are we getting this? So based on the name what you provided, so ID is automatically generated, right? And it is not having the complete length what you defined here. And it is not even having spaces. So it is like trimmed out. So you can just modify it. Okay, so to some extent you can modify it. I'm giving it as SCB Bank FW as the application name. I'm just modifying it. And just below this, you'll see something called organization name. So what will be your organization name? SCB, right? SCB. So I'm supposed to manually change it here. I'm supposed to manually change it. So if you are not opening these configurations, if you are not defining organization name, or if you are not modifying the application name or its type, so a wrong type of application will be created, which is really difficult for you to change everything manually. So that is the reason it is almost mandatory to open these advanced configurations. Okay, every time one random organization name will be generated. Every time one random organization name is generated, you have to modify it. So change application type to framework. This is one thing what you have to do. Okay, and update application ID if required. It's not mandatory every time. And update organization name. Okay, so let me change this to framework. Let me change this to FW for our easy understanding. And let me give SCB as my organization name. So if I give it here, immediately below in the class structure also, this will be automatically modified. You can see this, right? There will be something called class structure. I'll explain what is this class structure about in tomorrow or day after tomorrow's class. But for today, you have to take care of only this part. And here this class structure is auto generated with your organization name. And whatever the ID you gave here, that is like directly prompted. And it is by default showing as work as its group name. I'll talk about this complete structure after our application is created. Okay, now after you making changes, now you are supposed to save it. So you can happily click on create application now. Okay, click on create application. So background, one application rule will be generated with its ID and name, and a table will be generated. And this particular application has to be connected to this table only, no? So consider I created one framework application. Next, I'll create one implementation one, maybe implementation two, one more framework, and implementation three, implementation four. Every application will have a database table automatically generated. So 5 tables might be created because of these 5 applications. This application to be connected to this table 1 only. This application may be table 2 only. This application may be table 3 only. So if you create an application background, so a class is something generated, a table is getting generated, and this application and this table, there will be something called database mapping rule also generated. N number of things will be automatically created. And parallelly, so I see most of the online people, what you'll do is, whenever our class is running out, okay, you guys will try to do the same thing parallel in your laptop. Okay, you'll try to listen to the class in mobile phone, and you'll try to parallelly work everything in laptop itself, which is not at all encouraged. So this 1 hour of our discussion is purely for you concentrating on the class. Okay, never make a habit of working this parallelly, at least for first 1 month. So you guys might be having little Pega knowledge, or you might be having something industry experience, but I sincerely suggest you not to do anything parallel. So this 1 hour is purely for concentrating on the class discussion. So maybe after maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you'll be getting habituated for everything. And then if required, you can do some parallel execution also, not a problem. Okay, fine. So here you can see one application is successfully created, right? And here it is asking us to add one operator, right? Suppose if I click on log off. Okay, so if I click on log off, or if I click on done, what might happen? Maybe if I click on log off, I'll get login page, right? I'll get login page, and there I have to again log in. So for that, I have an operator ID. If I log in with that operator ID, it will take me to Pega platform, right? And I just created a new application. How to log in into this one? Meaning there is like at least one operator ID mandatory for every application, right? At least one operator ID mandatory. So here I have to create an operator ID, and that must be linked to this one. That must be linked to this. Okay, so let me create an operator ID. So maybe fw@scb.com. This is what we'll define. Okay. So here operator ID must be every time in email format only. If you are creating an operator ID in this particular screen, it must be of email format only. So after I creating, and then next I'll log in with the same ID and password, right? Then further, how many new operator IDs I create, it can be of any format. It can be Ravi as one operator ID, Rahul as one operator ID, 1, 2, 3, 4 as one operator ID. But for the first operator ID of any application, it must be of email format only. Okay, so here I should define something like in this way, which need not be of valid one also. So even if I define one valid email ID, so it will be difficult for you to retrieve its password later. Now I'm defining something like fw@scb.com. So here I have to choose some role, right? Here I have to choose some role. By default, what is the role it is showing? Tell me, online people, what is the role
Authors.
it is showing? Authors. Maybe if I click on the drop down, what might be the other roles?
User, admin, manager.
User, admin, manager. You know, these will be 4 roles, right? But whenever you are creating an operator ID in this application creation screen, so there will be only authors applicable for you. You cannot see admin role now. You cannot see user role or manager role. So this might be your interview question. In interviews, they might ask you, for an operator, what are the 4 roles? You'll say it. But during application creation, for an operator ID, only one role will be applicable. Why? Why other 3 roles are not applicable? So maybe if you are logging into the past versions, there you'll see UI kit also. Am I correct? As the theme. In 8.6, you should see UI kit as one theme, right? So if we have selected UI kit and if you have created an application, maybe in this screen, you will see authors and admin. Authors will be there, admin will be there. And if you are selecting theme Cosmos or Constellation, you'll see only authors. So finally, what I'm trying to say here is, you will never see user role or manager role anywhere during an application creation. This is your application creation. For the operator ID, whatever you are creating, there will not be user role, there will not be manager role. Why? So this is what your interview question. Why? Maybe if you are selecting author role, so the next login time he has to get development studio. And if he is having something like admin role, he'll get admin studio, right? And if it is user role, user portal. If it is manager role, manager portal, no doubt. Now I'm creating Rahul as one operator ID here. Maybe rahul@citibank.com or scb.com. And if there is something like user role, which is not available for you now, maybe if you have selected user role, what might happen? After he is like trying to log in, he will be getting user portal, right? For so and so credit card application or loan application, he has to get user portal. And did we create this user portal or did we design this? No. So this Rahul can log in into user portal, which is not fully configured. Meaning we are supposed to design this user portal, and Rahul as an user, he cannot develop that. And he cannot create any operator IDs also. Meaning this application only Rahul can log in and Rahul cannot do any further development work. So that is the problem. Okay, so it might be like little problem for the initial people who are is creating this application. So that is where every time only author role will be there. If it is author role, they can access development studio where he can do any kind of development work. He can create new operator IDs also. From there, distribution can happen. But if anything like user role defined, only user portal will be accessed, no development tasks there. And the logged in person also cannot do any development and he cannot create any new operator IDs. So that is where you will not see these two options. So now simply click on add. So if I click on add, you can see one operator ID and its password getting generated. Yes, right? Operator ID and password getting generated. Maybe if I click on log off, I'm supposed to log in, right? I know my email ID. What about password? Password, if I'm not noting down, so it is very difficult for me to log in, right? So you might think that you can recover the password. Maybe if we have given something valid email ID, so in the login page, you can try something like forgot password and you can try something like email recovery, which will not happen. Which will not happen. As I told you, if there is something like emails to be triggered from Pega application. So first there must be email configurations to be done, right? So did we do any such email configuration so far? No. So don't expect any email functionality. You might still see this option. So use the send invitation button below to email new users. You will not get an email. So even if you click on this, email triggering will not happen. So just for initial sake, they're asking you to make it like email format, but email triggering will not be there in the background. So don't forget to copy this separately. Okay, if you're trying to copy or consider you did not copy it, consider you did not copy it. So if you simply click on log off, okay, so you might click on done or you might click on log off, right? Let me click on done. So you can still see in Pega platform only, no? You can still see in Pega platform. Maybe if I log off, you can see log off option here. If I log off and if I'm trying to log in, I might have operate ready, but password will not be there. So how to retrieve this password? Email triggering will not happen. How to retrieve it? So for that, you should open database table. And in database table, you'll see administrator as one operator ID and the new one also by this time. Am I correct? fw.scb is like new operator ID getting created. So whenever you clicked on this add button, so one new record must be inserted here. Password as something random. So I forgot this password. I could not retrieve. So what you can do? So you can open database and do some modifications, right? Okay. So for that, you need not struggle hard from database perspective also. So you can try updating password from this development studio itself. So what you are supposed to do is, so in this development studio, you can see something called records here. Am I correct? You can see something called records. Or I'll give you one small scenario now. So scenario here is, today your manager is calling you and he is asking you to give one Excel sheet, of all the operator IDs. That's it. Okay, so today your manager is, or you joined in some Pega project today, and I'm your Pega manager, you are the team member. So from bank, a manager has mailed us to send them one Excel sheet, okay, showing all the operators list. So this task I assigned it to you. What you are supposed to do? So you are supposed to get one Excel sheet based on the database table only. No? Okay, so for that, maybe today is your day one. So if you ask your manager about database access, are you really experienced or not? This is what the next question you get. So just to access any part of our Pega data, Pega data is our database within which I wanted to access a small table, right? So if you wanted to access any part of our database, you need not have database access also. Okay, maybe if you are working in your Pega today, consider if you are working in Pega or if any of your friends are working in Pega, just cross check with them whether did they open this database frequently or not. So most of you will not be given database access also. Okay, and most of you, even if you're having access, you will not open it, meaning opening this database is not necessary for us. But the similar things you can do it from Development Studio itself. Now I'll show you in Development Studio how to check for all the operators list. Suppose if I wanted to check for all the operators, no doubt I have to check in PR operators table, right? But the same action, you can do it from here itself. I'll get all the list of operators and whatever the operator I just created, I can update password then and there. So if you click on records, you'll see something called organization. And in few versions of Pega, you'll see with something as company, whatever it is, both are same. So try to expand this. Can you see operator ID? Yes, right? Click on this operator ID. So these are all the records of the database table. So in my PR operators table, what are all the records you are having there? Here you'll call it as instances. All these are instances of operators table. So is this not the first one what we created? Yes, right? Online everyone following, right?
Yes, Chandra.
Yeah. Update above operators password from records. Open operator instances is what we call. And then open your own operator ID. Open your own operator ID. So this is what the details. His full name is something defined in this way and his email ID, and there will be something called access group. So this operator is like an author for our current application. Okay. So after opening access group, 3 important things will be there. What are those 3 things? We'll take it as a separate topic. But for now, to modify his password, you have to come to security. Okay, you have to come to security. And here you'll see something called update password. Now click on this. I can update password something as SCB. I'm updating it as SCB@123. That's it. Here also SCB@123. I'm just clicking on submit button. Okay, fine. And consider we both are developers. Okay, you forgot your password. You forgot your password. You are coming to me and asking me to update your password. What I'm trying to do? I'm trying to log in. I'm trying to check for all operator instances. I'm opening your own operator ID and updating password right. Okay, I'm updating password. And don't forget to mark this checkbox. Force change password on next login. So if you're trying to save this, okay, now if I'm trying to log in with this operator ID and password that is SCB@123, next it has to take him to change password screen. Am I correct? Okay, if this is marked, it has to take him to change password screen. Log off. And log in with new operator ID. So that is fw@scb.com and scb@123. So now if I click on login, it has to validate both are correct or not. Then it is taking me to change password screen. So will it take to change password every time? No, right? Only for the first time. So only for the first time meaning now let me update. Let me give my old password. And I'm updating some latest password now. So if I click on change password, what should happen? No doubt for this operator ID, password must be updated. So if I log off and log in, so I have to log in with my latest password only, which is known for us. So will it take me to change password screen every time? Just guess and tell me. No, right? Only for
No.
the first time it has to take. So now I'll click on change password screen. And it is taking me to the respective framework application, no doubt in it. And if I just go to records and organization and click on operator ID, and this is my own operator ID, correct, right? This is my own. And here, if I go to security, are you seeing this checkbox automatically turned off? Yes, right? It is automatically turned off, meaning if I log off and now again log in, it will not take me to change password screen. So this change password related discussion, whatever we are talking, this is something easy only. It's not like something new for you, but there will be multiple scenarios on this change password screen every day. Okay, now what might be such scenario? Okay, I'll explain about this scenario tomorrow. Okay, so for today, we just created one framework application and we just understood how to update password for that. Okay, how to update password for that. And I'll share you this document today. And tomorrow we'll understand practical scenarios, what will happen. So practical scenario generally here will be if I'm a bank manager. So I'll drop an email to you saying like every of my bank employee should update their passwords daily on daily basis. So tomorrow I'll explain this with a real-time example and I'll explain some analysis part also. And then we'll create one implementation application. Then I'll explain you what you have to do in second project and third project. After we are done with some portion of practicals here, I'll explain you what you have to do in other 2 things. Okay, clear, right, everyone? Today's discussion. No questions, right? Clear, right, everyone?
Yes, Chandra.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.